a tribute to the men who went to the limit and beyond. Samuel Seaton, Lieutenant Colonel, Special Forces, United States Army, retired.
It didn't appear as an epiphany at the time because I was just doing what I was trained to do. I grew up as a military brat, and I knew things military all my life. In retrospect and thinking about it, it was a life-changing experience, but not in the sense that you think. The next morning, when I went down to the airfield, and the replacements came in on a Caribou and C-123 Delta Provider, the ramp opened up, and some kids came running down that ramp, ready to play and have fun. And that's when I snapped out of it. But when I saw that kid playing, totally oblivious to what had happened the night before, I knew that things were going to be better. And I've never forgotten that experience. And it did change my life. I grew up real quick that day. Well, of course, I was 25 or 26 at the time, but I did grow up. And I started taking things seriously, more seriously than I had before.
Earl E. Berg, Lieutenant Colonel, Special Forces, United States Army, retired.
I had in the camp, I think, 2 weeks when we were attacked, which hardly gave me time to even get my feet on the ground. So it was definitely a pivotal experience for me. But it was also pivotal in the sense that I found out what it was like to be in battle, and to have all the support, air support, that we had. It was awesome. Is that too strong? It was an experience that I would always remember.
Wendell Enos, Master Sergeant, Special Forces, United States Army, retired.
There were a lot of incoming rounds coming in, all over the place. Weapons firing, rounds coming in, exploding in the camp. People screaming. All kind of bad things were happening. It appeared to be disorganized. We were organized as a team. We knew where we were going. They wanted to take that camp, I guarantee you.
I wrote up every soldier in our A-team from a ward, and Sergeant Honoree, who essentially saved my life, I wrote him up for the Silver Star and he got it. Everybody else was a hero. And we were all lucky to walk away from that. However, a month later, Specialist 4th Class Geist, Stephen Geist, was reassigned to Minton, and he went up with a fact named Lieutenant Huddleston, Fort Air Controller in the 5th Wing Aircraft, and was shot down over Cambodia, and he remained missing in action for 30 years.
Actually, my brother wasn't in the service that long. He joined the Army, but he wanted to be a Special Forces. He graduated at the top of his class, and he was given the choice of going anywhere he wanted to in the world with Special Forces, and he chose Vietnam. He thought that was the right thing to do. Our father was in World War II, and his uncle was in World War II, so to them it was just what you did for your country. You served your country.
Gary K. Neller, Lieutenant Colonel, Special Forces, United States Army, retired.
I was not allowed to leave the fort where I came back to after I came back in country from Vietnam, after my tour was over. I was not allowed to leave and go to the airport to catch my airplane unless I had a pair of civvies to wear, and I was not to wear my uniform. no beret, no uniform. I couldn't leave unless I was in civvies. Now, when I got home, it was okay. Everybody in my family served in World War II or Korea on both sides, my mother's side of the family and my dad's side of the family. So, that my people took good care of me. But, some people didn't have that kind of a family support. And we were treated terrible when we came back. The biggest thing is they said we lost the war. How dare you lose that war? We got tired of killing teenagers. And when do you stop and go home?
James Bolin, Lieutenant Colonel, Special Forces, United States Army, retired.
In 1967, I came back. It was October of 67. After this operation took place, and I was confronted in the San Francisco terminal by a young gentleman referred to as a hippie or whatever you want to call him at that time. And he tried to spit at me, but he didn't have any ammunition at the time. So I was in full uniform. I reached out and grabbed him by the shirt and the belt or the crotch, turned him upside down and stuffed him inside a trash container and walked into the bar to a great amount of applause and free drinks.
Please join us in honoring the A-Team, tonight's 2016 Palm Springs Air Museum's Gala honorees.